You've been trying to fix things. Small things, big things, everything in between. And maybe you've noticed that the harder you push for change, the more tired you become. Not physically tired, just tired of trying. Tired of starting over. Tired of feeling like progress should look different than this. You're not failing. You're not stuck. You're just wondering if improvement has to feel this heavy, if it has to require this much disruption. Because right now, your life isn't broken. It's just not quite what you want it to be. And that gap between where you are and where you think you should be, it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet, like something you can't name but can't ignore either. You know you want things to be better. You just don't know how to make that happen without tearing everything apart first. People talk about transformation like it's supposed to be loud, like you're supposed to wake up one day, burn your old routine to the ground, and rebuild from scratch. And maybe that works for some. But for most of us, most adults with jobs, responsibilities, people depending on us, that kind of change isn't realistic. It's not even appealing, because we're not looking to escape our lives. We're looking to improve them. And there's a difference, a big one. The truth is, most people who feel stuck aren't stuck because they're doing the wrong things. They're stuck because they're waiting for permission to improve without overhauling everything. They're stuck because they've been told that progress has to be visible, measurable, dramatic. So they wait. They wait for the right moment, the right mindset, the right system. And while they wait, they keep living the same loop. Not because they're lazy, but because they're cautious. Because they've tried the big changes before, and they know how that ends. I used to think improvement meant reinvention, that if I wanted my life to get better, I had to become a different version of myself, someone more disciplined, more focused, more something. And for a while, I believed that. I'd set these ambitious goals, map out routines, commit to new habits, and it would work. For a week, maybe 2. Then life would happen. Work would get busy. Someone would need something. I'd get tired, and the whole thing would fall apart. Not because I didn't want it, but because I was trying to force a structure that didn't fit the life I was actually living. And that's the thing we don't talk about enough. Most advice on self-improvement assumes you have a blank slate, that you can just redesign your day from scratch. But you don't. You have a life, a full one, with patterns, people, obligations, and improvement. Real improvement doesn't happen by ignoring all of that. It happens by working with it. So let's talk about what actually works. Not in theory, not in ideal conditions, but in real life, in the middle of everything else you're already doing. Because the truth is, you don't need big changes to improve your life. You need small, deliberate adjustments that don't require you to become someone else. You need shifts that are so subtle they don't disrupt your day, but clear enough that over time, they reshape how you feel. And that starts with understanding one simple idea. Improvement isn't about doing more. It's about doing things slightly better. Not dramatically, not perfectly, just better. In ways that don't exhaust you, in ways that actually stick. Because the goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to feel like you're moving, like you're not standing still, like the life you're living is gradually becoming the life you want to live. And that doesn't require transformation. It requires consistency. Small, unglamorous, almost invisible consistency. Think about the last time you felt good about your day. Not proud, not accomplished, just good. Like things flowed. Like you handled what came your way without burning out. Chances are that day didn't involve anything extraordinary. You didn't achieve a milestone. You didn't finish a massive project. You just moved through the day with a little more clarity than usual, a little more ease, and that's what we're after. Not the highlight reel, just more days that feel manageable. More days where you end the evening without feeling like you fought your way through. And that starts with the smallest, most boring adjustments you can imagine, like choosing one thing, just one, that you're going to do slightly better tomorrow. Not perfectly, not every single day for the rest of your life, just tomorrow. Maybe it's drinking water before coffee. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room while you work. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes in the morning to sit in silence before the day starts demanding things from you. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that it's small enough that you won't resist it, and specific enough that you'll know if you did it. Here's what most people get wrong. They think the point of small changes is to build momentum, to stack habits until they become this unstoppable force of productivity. But that's not the point. The point is to prove to yourself that you can follow through, that you're not as unreliable as you think, that when you decide to do something, you actually do it. Because once you start trusting yourself again, even in the smallest ways, everything else gets easier. You stop needing motivation. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You just do the thing, because you said you would. And that quiet integrity, that ability to keep small promises to yourself, that's what changes everything. Not the habit itself, the fact that you kept it. Let's say you decide to go to bed 15 minutes earlier, not because you're trying to optimize your sleep or hit some ideal bedtime, just because you want to see if you can. So you set a timer, you brush your teeth when it goes off, you get in bed, and the next morning you wake up, and nothing feels different. You're not more energized, you're not suddenly motivated to conquer the day, you're just slightly less tired, and that's enough. Because over the next few weeks, those 15 minutes start to add up. You stop scrolling as much at night. You stop feeling guilty about wasting time. You start ending the day on your terms instead of collapsing into sleep out of exhaustion. And that shift, that tiny, almost invisible shift, it doesn't just affect your sleep, it affects how you see yourself. Because now you're someone who does what they say they're going to do, even when it's boring. Even when no one's watching. Or, let's say you want to feel more present, more connected to what you're doing instead of constantly thinking about what's next. You don't need to meditate for an hour. You don't need to delete all your apps or go on some digital detox retreat. You just need to pick one moment in your day, one single moment, where you're fully there. Maybe it's when you're eating breakfast. Maybe it's when you're walking to your car. Maybe it's the first 5 minutes after you get home from work. Just one moment where you're not multitasking, where you're not planning, where you're just here. And at first, it'll feel pointless, like you're wasting time. But if you keep doing it, something starts to shift. You start noticing things. The way light hits the table, the way your body feels when you're not rushing, the way silence doesn't have to be filled. And over time, that presence starts to bleed into the rest of your day, not because you're trying to be mindful, but because you've practiced being still. And now it's just easier. The thing about small changes is that they don't feel like progress. Not in the moment, because progress is supposed to be exciting, visible, something you can point to and say, "Look, I'm better now." But real progress, the kind that actually lasts, it's quiet, it's internal. It's the difference between forcing yourself to do something and just doing it, because it's part of who you are now. And you don't get there by making big changes. You get there by making the same small change over and over until it stops being a change, until it's just what you do. And here's the part that no one tells you, the part that makes all of this worth it. When you start improving your life without big changes, when you stop waiting for the perfect system or the perfect version of yourself, you stop living in the future. You stop thinking, "I'll be happy when I'm more disciplined, when I'm more productive, when I finally get my life together." Because you realize your life is already together. It's just evolving, slowly, quietly, in ways that don't need to be announced or celebrated. And that's not just okay. That's the whole point. So if you're here because you want things to be better, but you're tired of starting over, then this is for you. Not as a one-time thing, but as a place you can come back to, a space where improvement doesn't have to be loud, where progress doesn't have to be perfect, where you can just think, adjust, keep going, because that's what this is. A reminder that you don't need to change everything. You just need to change one thing, and then another, and then another. Not because you're broken, but because you're capable, and because the life you want, it's not somewhere far away. It's just a series of small, deliberate choices that you haven't made yet. But you will, one at a time, without the drama, without the pressure, just you, moving forward, in the only way that actually works. You don't have to figure it all out tonight. You don't have to have a plan. You just have to notice. What's one thing you could do slightly better tomorrow? Not perfectly, just better. And then see what happens. Because that's how it starts. Not with a decision to change your life, but with a decision to trust yourself. In the smallest, quietest way possible. And that trust, over time, it builds into something you didn't expect. Not transformation, just clarity, just ease, just the feeling that you're finally moving in a direction that makes sense, and that's more than enough.